This is not just a photograph. This frame captures Cristiano Ronaldo during his early years at Real Madrid, likely between 2009 and 2012, wearing the iconic white home kit with the Buin sponsor prominently displayed across his chest. The dark, almost cinematic background creates a dramatic contrast with the pristine white of his jersey, making him appear as if he's emerging from darkness into light. Look at his face. There's intensity, determination, and something else, hunger. This was not the established king we know today. This was a young conqueror who had just arrived in his promised land. His mouth is slightly open, his eyes focused somewhere in the distance, his body in motion. The Adidas stripes run down his shoulders, the Real Madrid crest sits proudly on his left chest, and the Champions League badge on his sleeve tells us this moment is from European competition. The number 7, though not fully visible, is synonymous with his identity. At 24 or 25 years old, Ronaldo had just completed the most expensive transfer in football history at that time, minus €94 million from Manchester United. The pressure was immense, the expectations astronomical, and the critics were waiting. But this photograph shows a man who wasn't afraid. In fact, he was ready to prove everyone right. But how did he arrive at this moment? Every legend begins with a leap of faith. The summer of 2009 changed football forever. After years of speculation, Cristiano Ronaldo finally made the move to Real Madrid, fulfilling his childhood dream. But this wasn't just any transfer. This was the beginning of the second Galacticos era under President Florentino Perez. Alongside Ronaldo came Kaká from Milan for €65 million, Karim Benzema from Lyon for €35 million, and Xabi Alonso from Liverpool. The weight of expectation was crushing. Real Madrid hadn't won the Champions League since 2002, and Barcelona, led by a young Lionel Messi, were dominating everything. Ronaldo's first season, 2009-2010, was both spectacular and disappointing. He scored 33 goals in all competitions, becoming the team's top scorer, despite missing 7 weeks due to injury. Real Madrid scored 102 goals in La Liga, becoming the highest-scoring team that season. But they finished second to Barcelona with 96 points, at the time the highest points total for a runner-up in the history of Europe's top 5 leagues. They were also eliminated from the Champions League by Lyon in the round of 16. The Spanish media were merciless. Is Ronaldo worth €94 million? They asked. Can he handle the pressure of Madrid? Some questioned. But Ronaldo wasn't fazed. In training, he worked harder than anyone. In matches, he demanded the ball. In his mind, he was building something that would take time. This photograph, likely from that early period, captures the rawness of his ambition. He's not celebrating here. He's hunting. Every game was a test. Every goal a statement, every performance a building block towards something greater. Can greatness be forged under pressure, or does pressure crush ambition? Some photographs capture not just a moment but a mindset. Let's analyze this image technically and emotionally. The lighting is masterful. Stadium floodlights illuminate Ronaldo from above and slightly to the side, creating shadows that accentuate his facial features. The sharp jawline, the defined cheekbones, the intensity in his eyes, the shallow depth of field blurs everything behind him, creating an almost dreamlike quality, where only he exists in sharp focus. This technique forces the viewer to concentrate entirely on him, eliminating all distractions. The white Real Madrid jersey is impeccably clean, suggesting this is either early in the match or during warm-up. The knee sponsor in dark letters creates a bold contrast, while the gold Adidas stripes on the sleeves add a touch of royalty, fitting for the kings of Europe. His body language tells us everything. His right hand is raised slightly, fingers extended, a gesture of communication, perhaps calling for the ball or directing teammates. His mouth is open, suggesting he's either calling out or breathing heavily from exertion. His neck muscles are tense, visible even in the photograph. This is a man in the heat of competition, but look closer at his eyes. There's a fire there. Yes, but also calculation. Ronaldo was never just a physical specimen. He was a cerebral player who studied every detail, every opponent, every weakness. During these early Madrid years, he was evolving. At Manchester United, he had been flashy, a skilled winger who loved stepovers. At Real Madrid, he was transforming into a goal machine, a lethal finisher who positioned himself perfectly. The 2010-2011 season saw him score 53 goals in all competitions, including 40 in La Liga alone. The 2011-2012 season would bring even more, 60 goals in all competitions. Under Jose Mourinho's tactical guidance, Real Madrid became a counter-attacking juggernaut, and Ronaldo was the spearhead. This photograph presents that transition period, when raw talent met world-class coaching and infrastructure. Is talent enough, or does environment shape greatness? Looking back, this photograph is the prologue to the greatest chapter. Those early years at Real Madrid captured in this image were the foundation upon which Ronaldo built an empire of achievements.
After the initial struggles, everything changed. In 2014, he won his first Champions League with Real Madrid, La Decima, the club's 10th European Cup. Then came La Undécima in 2016, La Duodécima in 2017, and La Decimotercera in 2018. Four Champions League titles in 5 years. He would go on to score 450 goals in 438 appearances for Real Madrid, a ratio that defies logic. He won four more Ballon d'Or awards while wearing white, cementing his status among the greatest ever. But this photograph from those early uncertain years reminds us that greatness isn't instant. The young man in this white jersey with bullet across his chest didn't know he would become Real Madrid's second highest scorer of all time. He didn't know he would lead them to unprecedented Champions League dominance. He didn't know that one day, fans would debate whether he or Messi was the greatest of all time. All he knew was that he had to prove himself, one match at a time, one goal at a time. This image captures purity of purpose. No distractions, no doubts visible, just pure, unadulterated ambition. The white jersey became his canvas, and over 9 years he painted a masterpiece. For Real Madrid fans, this photograph represents hope fulfilled. The expensive signing became priceless. The young Portuguese winger became a Spanish legend. The questioned investment became the best decision the club ever made. And for Ronaldo himself, this photograph is a reminder of who he was before he became who he is. It's the young warrior before the war was won, the sculptor before the marble became David, the writer before the story became legendary. Every time he sees images from these early Madrid years, he must remember the hunger, the doubt, the pressure, and how he turned all of it into fuel. That white jersey, that dark background, that focused expression, they tell the story of a man who refused to fail. Can we ever truly appreciate greatness while it's happening, or only in retrospect?